Hi, this is Glenn, and this is the Glenn Den. This is where the magic happens for my videos. This is my setup. I just wanted to show you a little bit. I've got my two 27-inch screens up here. I've got two lights just for when I'm doing face-to-face light recording. I have a desktop over here, and you'll see my VR hanging spectacularly well, professionally, I should say, on a spin bike. Just for the moment, not permanent. But back there's my PC. My desktop PC has an i7-13700K. I've got 64 gig of RAM. I got the Asus Tough Edition 5070 Ti, a 16 gig video card. I haven't overclocked anything. I think maybe my CPU might be at a slight boost above the default clock, but I haven't really focused too much on that at all. I've got about 9 terabyte of storage across multiple drives, not that that matters too much to VR performance. Then I've also got a water cooling system in there. My machine, it's not the cutting edge, right? It's not your 80s or 90 class video card, but for me, I can run most things in the top setting without too much issue. This is my Oculus Quest 2. It's now, what, 5 years old. I did get an aftermarket strap for it to make it more comfortable because the original strap is absolute garbage. And I have this latex type face mask, so it's better for sweat. The sweat buildup is real, so this allows for easier cleaning and probably hygiene, I guess. I haven't had a reason to upgrade to a Quest 3 yet. It's, you know, look, in this economy, right, for me to do that just to play Skyrim VR, especially as a part-time VR person. So that is my physical PC setup. Now let's take a look at the software settings. Mod Organizer has a lot of different categories here, and I haven't really touched anything except in the starting section right down the bottom there. You'll see that I don't have anything selected in step 2. Step 1 is just instructions. Step 2, you are meant to choose one. It says to choose one, either the Open Composite or Steam VR, and I've found it running just fine using Open Composite without clicking anything inside the Open Composite section, so it seems to be the default. It's worth pointing out that the option under Open Composite, where it says to launch the OCU configuration, it seems like that's not quite ready for prime time yet. I've read on Discord forums for this that it's not really doing much, or in fact it's creating artifacts or making things worse, so I'm just leaving that completely for now. I did select the CS NVIDIA performance option under the community shaders NVIDIA section there. I figured that was the best option for my VR headset. I haven't tried it on quality, I may try it later on, but for now I'm happy with my game's performance and quality, so I'll keep it with the current settings for now. In step 4, select target FPS, I chose 90 to match my virtual desktop settings, and everything else was left fairly much as it was when I first downloaded the pack. The only one I edited here was the Open VRAMer, and that was to compress my textures, and that was done by running the VRAMer configuration inside Mod Organizer. So just select VRAMer option from the top right corner there and click Run, and once you do that, it creates a whole other process which will compress all your textures. It takes quite a while, but once it's finished that, you'll get a folder which you just drag into the Mod Organizer here under the VRAMer output. For me personally, with a 16 gig video card, I did find that things loaded a lot faster once I ran that VRAMer, and I'd recommend you do the same process if your video card has 16 gig of RAM or less. So this is my virtual desktop streamer settings. Now the accounts and bindings, they don't really have an impact on the quality of the video. So under options, I've got it set to H.264 Plus, bearing in mind I am on the Quest 2. If you're on a Quest 3, I believe AV1 10-bit is your option of choice. I don't have adaptive quantization or 2-pass encoding enabled, as I seem to be getting better results with those turned off. My OpenXR runtime, I'm using VDXR because I'm staying away from Steam VR where I can. Gamepad emulation I've just left as automatic because I don't use a gamepad. For my audio streaming, I've got it set to the VR headset only and using the virtual audio driver. I've disabled allow remote connections and encrypting local traffic and automatically adjusting the bitrate. I believe automatically adjusting the bitrate is likely to lead to more latency and inconsistency, so I've set that to disabled. I do start with Windows and minimized, personal preference. Touch input I think was just the default setting, and I think the rest of it was also as default as well. Under advanced, I've just got that as default, and then the rest is just personal stuff, with the about being the confirmation of what your setup looks like. So that wraps it up for my virtual desktop streamer. Now let's look at the headset itself. So inside virtual desktop on the headset, I've got everything ticked under the top section. Up there, apart from the show games tab, it's a personal thing. I've got it down to medium and I don't really use that much apart from launching the games. In the frame rate, I've got it set to 90. My desktop bitrate is at 120. I've got my screen brightness set at 100. Dynamic lighting is enabled. Audio is all selected. I've got my boost clock rate there ticked. I don't know if it's made a massive difference, but it is recommended to use it when recording, so it's enabled, and the rest are there as default. The settings at the above, they're all personal, it doesn't affect the quality. Under streaming, I've got it set to ultra. If you have a Quest 3 or a more powerful headset, you'll get a God mode under there, or God-like, I can't remember. Under the frame rate, then I've got it set to 90 frames per second, and a bitrate of 200, and a sharpening at 80. I did 200 here because I saw VR Dad doing that and I thought, well, it worked well for him, I'll try the same. And also, if you go too high, you get latency, so I thought I'd just leave it at 200. The gamma increased slightly for me because I do get a lot of dark areas. I set it to 1.1. Always enabled for synchronous space warp. It's highly recommended because everything I've read online has suggested that that should be there as that option. For advanced options, I've got everything enabled except for the forward tracking to PC because I don't have those hardware options. And this is also handy, showing performance overlay. You can't see it when I'm recording, but if I press both my thumbsticks, it shows me the frames per second, my latency across all the various touch points of the whole connection. So it helps me to highlight where there's any issues on the VR setup. On the bottom you can see there I've got my Quest 2, how many frames per second, and my video frames per second, and also my video bitrate just for confirmation. So that's all my virtual desktop settings within the headset. Let's take a look now at the game settings themselves. It's running pretty well. It's still loading in all of the bits and pieces to get it going. But this is running really smoothly now. So I think all my configuration changes have finally resulted in a game that is nice and smooth on my setup, and hopefully you get the same results when you use the same settings as me. Look at that! Look at that! I just dropped something. My microphone just fell out. One thing I'll note here is that dynamic resolution is set to on, and whatever I do, it is staying on. One of the first things you know in VR for Skyrim is to disable dynamic resolution, but it doesn't stick in this time with the current beta. Mod configuration, and no, that's right, so not there, it's not there, it's actually just by pressing end on my keyboard, so I'm just going to navigate over there now, press end. These are the only settings I've changed in all the mod pack details. So my settings are NVIDIA DLSS, I've got balanced for the upscale preset, I've got DLSS profile is K, and K I think was a balanced one. Then I've got VR render scale mode disabled. I actually had this enabled, so some of these haven't been saved. I'm pretty sure I had this enabled, and not that one, this one. Yes, enabled. So it's enabled now. We'll see how that goes. It does say that the option is experimental, but in my experience, it. Do you mind? I'm trying to do a bit of a training video here. Low latency mode. I've got that disabled, and from memory, this was actually enabled, and just I think left as default. So I'm just going to leave that there for the moment. Up you go. Save settings. There we go. Okay. So now I'm going to run around a bit and look, according to the display I'm seeing here, which isn't recorded, I'm getting 87 to 90 frames a second, and this is running really nice. Like really nice. I think that enabling that last setting I did, I forget the name of it now, but whatever that setting was I just enabled, it has made it run even smoother again. So that's my setup. As you can see, it's running pretty well. I'm quite happy with this for the age of my Quest 2 and the results it's generating. This is beautiful. I am so happy right now because I think I've made it even better than it was before. Okay, with that being said, I'll love you and leave you, and I'll see you on the next one, which is coming out really soon, just on the various combat aspects of the Mad God Overhaul for 4.0 beta. Alright, see you later, bye! Bye!